It was 2 in the morning when I started packing. My bedroom was dark, except for the streetlight glow coming through the window. I held the wool sweater Mom gave me on my 18th birthday, feeling its weight in my hands. 3 hours earlier, Dad had stood in the hallway downstairs and delivered his ultimatum. You either apologize to your sister by tomorrow morning, or you are suspended from this family. I had looked him in the eye, said, "All right," and walked upstairs without another word. Now, surrounded by half-filled boxes, I knew the truth. I never thought the family I tried so hard to please would be the one I would have to destroy to save myself. Before I tell you how everything fell apart, I need to know something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city in the comments below. And if you have ever felt like the invisible child in your own family, hit that like button. Subscribe, because this story gets wild, and you will want to see how I made them all realize what they lost. Now let me take you back to where it all started. My name is Brown. I am 26 years old, a software engineer living in Portland, Oregon. Or I was living there. Past tense matters now. My family looked perfect from the outside. Dad, Richard Brown, 58 years old, owned a successful law firm downtown. Mom passed away 4 years ago from cancer. That left just 3 of us. Me, Dad, and my younger sister Stephanie, who just turned 24. Growing up, I was always the responsible one. The kid who got straight, as without being asked. The teenager who worked part-time jobs to save money. The son who never caused trouble. Stephanie came along 2 years after me, but her arrival was different. Mom had 2 miscarriages between us. When Stephanie finally arrived healthy, she became what everyone called the miracle baby. From day 1, she got treated like spun glass. The differences started small. I had to mow lawns all summer to buy my first bicycle. Stephanie got a brand new one delivered for her 7th birthday. I earned a full academic scholarship to State University and worked 20 hours a week at a campus bookstore to cover living expenses. Stephanie attended a private art school where tuition ran $45,000 a year. Dad paid every cent without blinking. When I turned 23, I saved for 3 years to buy a used Honda Civic. Reliable, decent gas mileage, nothing fancy. Stephanie turned 21 last year. Dad surprised her with a brand new BMW convertible Arctic White with tan leather seats. I remember standing in the driveway watching her squeal and jump up and down. Dad had his arm around her shoulders, grinning like he had just won Father of the Year. I made the mistake of asking him later why the difference mattered so much. He looked at me with this expression I had seen 100 times before. "You are the man, Brown. You should be tougher. Your sister needs more support." That was his answer for everything. You are the man. Be tougher. Figure it out yourself. Then came last week. I got promoted to senior software engineer at the tech company where I had worked for 4 years. It meant a salary jump to $125,000 annually. Real money. The kind that could change things. I was proud. I wanted to share the news. Our family had this tradition. Sunday dinners. Every week, no exceptions. We gathered around the dining table at 6 in the evening. That Sunday, I arrived early, brought a bottle of wine, and waited for the right moment. We were halfway through the pot roast when I mentioned my promotion. "Good for you," Dad said. He nodded once, then immediately turned to Stephanie. "How was your gallery showing yesterday, sweetheart?" The one with your professor Stephanie launched into a 15-minute story about some amateur art exhibition. I sat there holding my wine glass, watching my big news evaporate like it had never happened. But the real shock came next. Stephanie paused, twirling pasta on her fork. "So, Daddy, I have been thinking. I need to take some time off from school this semester. I need space to find inspiration for my art. I cannot create when I am stressed about deadlines." My fork stopped midway to my mouth. This would be the 3rd time Stephanie dropped out mid-semester. The 3rd time. Dad had paid for her to restart twice already. "I understand completely," Dad said without hesitation. "Artists need freedom. I will handle the tuition refund paperwork." The disappointment must have shown on my face, because Stephanie caught my expression and smirked. "Not everyone is a boring robot like you, brother. Some of us have souls that need nurturing." Dad actually laughed. He thought it was funny. I finished dinner in silence and left early. Nobody noticed. 3 days later, I received an email from Dad. Subject line: family meeting. The message was brief. Family meeting Friday night. Important financial matter. Be there 7 in the evening sharp. Friday arrived. I showed up at 6:55, parked in the driveway behind Stephanie's BMW. Inside, I found them both sitting in the living room. Dad occupied his leather armchair, the one Mom used to call his throne. Stephanie curled up on the sofa, wearing a nervous smile. "Sit down, Brown," Dad said. Saturday. "Your sister has an exciting opportunity," he began. "She wants to open her own art studio, a place where she can teach classes, build a real business. She needs $50,000 in startup capital." My stomach dropped. "I have agreed to provide $30,000 from the family account," Dad continued. "But she needs another $20,000. He turned to look directly at me. "You just got promoted. I know you have savings. This is your sister. Family helps family." The room went silent except for the ticking grandfather clock in the corner. I had spent 3 years saving $28,000. Every single dollar went toward a down payment on my first home. I had spreadsheets. I had toured condos. I was 2 months away from making an offer. "Dad," I said carefully, "I have been saving for my own place. I cannot give away my down payment." Stephanie's eyes filled with tears instantly. "You always hated me. You are so selfish. After everything I have done for you, Dad," said his voice rising. "After I raised you, fed you, put a roof over your head, you cannot help your own sister." I tried to stay calm. "Dad, Stephanie has never finished anything she started. 3 semesters dropped. 2 previous business ideas abandoned. A studio will fail just like everything else. This is my future we are talking about. Get out," Dad said. His face had gone red. "Get out of my house. Come back when you remember what family means." I left. My hands shook the entire drive home. Sunday morning, my phone exploded. 47 text messages. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family, friends. Every single one called me heartless, selfish, cruel. I opened Facebook and immediately understood why. Stephanie had posted a long emotional essay. The headline read, "Heartbroken." Below it, she wrote paragraph after paragraph about how her own brother refused to help her achieve her dreams. How she had always looked up to me but now realized I valued money more than family. How our late mother would be so disappointed in the man I had become. She included a photo, an old picture from when she was maybe 7 years old, standing next to me at the beach. We were both smiling, my arm around her small shoulders. It looked incredibly touching. The post had 230 reactions, mostly sad faces and angry emojis. The comments section overflowed with people attacking me. Someone I had never met called me a disgrace. A distant cousin said I should be ashamed. Aunt Linda, Dad's older sister, wrote a 3-paragraph comment about how she thought I was better than this. I tried to explain in the comments. Wrote out a calm response about context and responsibility. Within minutes, Stephanie and her friends dogpiled me. They called me defensive, said I was trying to justify cruelty. My comment got reported and hidden. Aunt Linda called me that afternoon. "I have known you since you were born, Brown. I cannot believe you would treat your sister this way." She was nearly shouting. "Your mother would cry if she could see this." I hung up feeling completely isolated. Alone. Like the entire world had turned against me based on a lie. Monday evening, I decided to confront the situation directly. I drove to Dad's house and let myself in with my key. The moment I stepped into the living room, I saw Stephanie on the couch. Her eyes were swollen, face blotchy. She had been crying for hours. Dad stood next to her like a guard. "What did you do?" His voice could have cut glass. Stephanie looked up at me with the most wounded expression. "You called me this afternoon. You threatened me. You said if I did not delete the Facebook post, you would make me regret it." My mind went blank. "What? I never called you." "Stop lying," she sobbed. "You used a different number to hide it." I pulled out my phone, immediately opened my call log, showed it to both of them. "Look, no calls. I did not call anyone today except my coworker about a project deadline." "You are using a burner phone," Stephanie said. "You are not that stupid." "Do you think your sister would lie about this?" Dad demanded. I stared at him. I stared at Stephanie. She had manufactured the entire thing. Invented a threatening phone call that never happened, and Dad believed her without question. I tried to explain to reason to show proof. Stephanie just cried harder. He is gaslighting me now. He is making me think I imagined it. You have crossed every line, Dad said. You owe your sister an apology, a real one, in front of the whole family. I did not do anything wrong, I said. I will not apologize for something I did not do. Then you are not welcome here until you do. I understood in that moment. Stephanie had set me up perfectly. She wanted revenge for me, refusing to fund her studio, so she created a story I could never disprove. How do you prove? A phone call did not happen. You cannot. I left without another word. Tuesday night, my phone rang. Dad. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. I have made my decision, he said. No greeting, no warmth. You are suspended from this family until you apologize to Stephanie. What does suspended mean? I asked. It means you are not invited to any family events. Your name will be temporarily removed from my will. You are forbidden from contacting any family members. The shared bank account, with your grandmother's gift money, the $8,000 she left specifically for you, will be frozen until this is resolved. I felt like I had been punched in the chest. There is one condition, Dad continued. Apologize to your sister by tomorrow morning, in person, in front of me. This ends when you do the right thing. My throat closed up. 26 years of trying to earn his respect. 26 years of being good enough, strong enough, responsible enough. All of it meant nothing. All right, I said quietly. All right, what? All right. I heard you. I hung up. 11 o'clock Tuesday night. I sat in my small rented apartment staring at the wall. My whole life I had bent myself into shapes trying to make Dad proud. I studied hard, worked hard, stayed out of trouble, asked for nothing, and still I was never enough. Never as important as Stephanie, never worth defending. A strange calm settled over me. If I was suspended from this family, then I would make it permanent. But I would do it on my terms. I opened my laptop and started planning. First, I called Marcus, my best friend from college. He lived in Austin, Texas, now worked as a director at a growing tech startup. We had stayed close over the years. Marcus answered on the second ring. Brown, it is almost midnight, man. You okay? I need to ask you something, I said. Is your company still hiring senior engineers? There was a pause. Yeah. Why I am moving to Austin. Can you help me get an interview? Marcus did not ask questions. He just said yes. By the time we hung up 20 minutes later, I had a phone screening scheduled for Thursday and a place to crash when I arrived. I booked a one-way flight for Wednesday morning. 6:30 departure. Then I started packing. At 2 a.m, I wrote an email to my personal lawyer, not someone from Dad's firm. A lawyer I had hired independently when I bought my car years ago. I asked her to draft a legal document waiving all my inheritance rights from the family estate. In exchange, I demanded the immediate release of my $8,000 from grandmother's trust account. The trust terms were clear. That money belonged to me legally, regardless of family disputes. I copied Dad on the email, copied my lawyer. Subject line, formal notice of separation. The email read, Since I am suspended from the family, I am making it legal and permanent. Please process the inheritance waiver and release my funds within 48 hours as per grandmother's trust terms. I will not be returning. I transferred all $28,000 from my savings into a new bank account I opened with a Texas bank. Canceled every credit card that had Dad's address listed. Updated my emergency contacts at work. Removed Dad's name. Added Marcus instead. At 5 a.m, 1 hour before my Uber to the airport, I opened Facebook. I had never been much for social media, but this mattered. I wrote a post, made it public. The title, The Truth About Being the Invisible Child. I laid out everything, calmly, factually, no anger, no exaggeration, just timeline. How I paid my own way through college while Stephanie got a free ride. How I bought a used car while she got a BMW. How Dad asked me to give up my house down payment for her studio. How I said no. How Stephanie posted lies on social media. How she invented a threatening phone call that never happened. I included screenshots. My bank statement showing the $28,000 I had saved. My call log proving no outgoing calls. The email from Dad suspending me from the family. I ended with this: I do not hate my family. I just finally understand that I do not need their approval to have value. I am leaving Portland today. I am starting over. And I am free. I set the post to public, tagged every relative who had sent me angry messages. Then I closed the laptop. At 7 in the morning, I left my apartment keys with the landlord. Everything I owned fit into 2 suitcases and a backpack. The Uber arrived. My phone started buzzing immediately. Dad calling. 12 times. Stephanie, 8 times. Aunt Linda, 5 times. I turned off my phone. Walked into the airport. Boarded the plane. When we took off, I looked out the window at Portland, disappearing below. For the first time in years, I felt light. 2 weeks passed. Austin welcomed me like I had always belonged there. Marcus set me up in his guest room while I apartment hunted. The job interview went flawlessly. I started the following Monday with a sign-on bonus of $15,000. Marcus kept tabs on the Portland situation through Facebook. He would update me over breakfast. "Dude," he said one morning, "your post has been shared over 1,200 times. The comments are insane. Everyone is on your side." I did not check social media myself. I did not want to know. But Marcus told me anyway. "Aunt Linda publicly apologized to you. Said she was wrong and should have listened to your side. A bunch of other relatives are reaching out trying to get your contact info to support you. And Stephanie," he paused. "She had to shut down her Facebook completely. People were going after her hard." "What about Dad?" I asked. Marcus scrolled through his phone. "Some of his law firm clients saw your post. They are asking questions about his family values. It is not a good look for business." 3 days later, my lawyer emailed. Dad had signed the release. The $8,000 hit my account that afternoon. Attached to the legal documents was a scanned handwritten letter from Dad. "We need to talk. Please call me." I deleted it. A month after I left, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It was Stephanie using a new number I did not have blocked. "Please talk to me. Everything is falling apart." I was curious enough to call back. She answered on the first ring, already crying. "Brown, I am so sorry. I messed up. I messed up everything." "What do you want, Stephanie?" She broke down. The studio failed after 3 weeks. No customers. No business plan. No idea what she was doing. Dad cut off most of her funding after realizing I had been right about her never finishing anything. She had to get a real job for the first time in her life. A coffee shop. Minimum wage. Her friends distanced themselves after the Facebook scandal. She was alone. "I did not really get a threatening phone call," she admitted. "I made it up because I was angry. I did not think it would go this far. I did not know you would actually leave." "You did not want attention," I said calmly. "You wanted everything without earning it. And Dad enabled you. You both made your choices. Now you live with them. Will you ever forgive me? Maybe someday. But I will never forget. And I will never come back." I hung up. No anger, no satisfaction, just peace. 3 months in Austin, my life transformed completely. Work was challenging and rewarding. I got a performance bonus, an extra $15,000 for exceeding targets. I made friends who valued me for who I was, not who I was supposed to be. Started volunteering with a nonprofit teaching coding to underprivileged kids. I met Jessica at a coffee shop. She was a graphic designer, smart and kind. We talked for 2 hours on our first date. I told her everything about my family. She listened without judgment. "Your family did not deserve you," she said, "but that does not mean you are not worthy of love." For the first time in my life, I felt seen. Not as the responsible son, not as the man who should be tougher, just as Brown, a good person who worked hard and had value. 6 months after leaving Portland, I heard a knock on my apartment door on a Saturday morning. I opened it to find Dad standing there. He looked older, tired, dark circles under his eyes that had not been there before. "Can I come in?" he asked. I stepped aside, let him enter, did not hug him, did not smile. We sat in my living room. Silence stretched between us. Finally, Dad spoke. I was wrong, about everything. I failed you as a father. I waited. I pushed you away because you reminded me of myself before I became successful, he continued. I was afraid you would not need me. So I gave everything to Stephanie because she always needed me. But I turned her into someone who cannot stand on her own. And I lost you in the process. He told me Stephanie had moved back home. She was still working at the coffee shop, finally growing up, finally understanding consequences. The family knew the truth now. Dad's firm had suffered reputation damage. Some clients left. Some stayed, but asked pointed questions about integrity and family. I do not expect you to forgive me, Dad said. I just needed you to know that I am sorry. Thank you for saying that, I replied. It means something, but it does not change anything. Can we start over? He was crying now. Actual tears. No, I said. But maybe in time we can build something new. Something honest. On my terms. He nodded. Stood up. Walked to the door. I will wait as long as it takes, he said. Then he left. I stood on my balcony watching his rental car pull away. Behind me I heard Jessica call out from the kitchen. Dinner is ready. I turned my back on the street and walked inside. People ask me if I regret destroying my family. The truth is I did not destroy anything. I just stopped letting them destroy me. My father spent years building a kingdom where one child was golden and the other was invisible. I did not burn it down. I just walked away and let them see what they had built. Stephanie learned that the world does not owe you anything just because you want it. Dad learned that control is not the same as love. And I learned the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not fight for people who do not fight for you. Sometimes freedom means letting go of the family you were born into and building the one you choose. I am brown. And for the first time in my life, that is enough. Maybe it always was. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from family to save yourself? Have you ever been the invisible child? Drop your story in the comments below. Hit that like button if this resonated with you. Subscribe for more real stories about finding strength when life tears you down. And share this with someone who needs to hear that they are enough exactly as they are. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope wherever you are, whatever you are facing, you find the courage to choose yourself. You deserve that. Take care of yourselves out there.